you can be in electronics many years and in radios, and every once in a while you'll bump into something. Somebody will mention something, and then it'll take on a life of its own. And I had seen in the conference they mentioned this one type of receiver, and then one guy said, I had a chance to buy one of them, but it wasn't quick enough. Someone else got it. And it was a Dr. James Robinson, Stenode Radiostat. And it used crystal filter in the IF, 175 kilohertz. Right there, that makes the set very selective. All right, but the radio is going to get a weird sounding audio. So here's his crystal filters in the IF, which is a modern thing that they still do to this day. So he was way ahead of his time. But the audio gets funky. So then he added a filter in the audio, or de-emphasis network, whatever you want to call it, to try to restore the audio to make it sound natural. Well, people that listened to the demo, one guy was a piano player, and he says the piano doesn't sound natural. See what the guy was trying to do. I'm going to explain sensitivity and selectivity. Okay, so now you had originally TRF radios, which were just tuned radio circuits. There was no BFO, there was no mixers, there was none. It was just straight RF with some 3-element tubes, and you could get all the strong stations. If there was a weak station next to a strong station, you couldn't receive it. So that's when they went into super heterodyne, and that fixed some of the problems. But the radio has to be both sensitive and selective. Sensitivity is the ability to pick the station up. Selectivity is the ability to pick up a weaker station that's next to a stronger station on the dial, and to be able to separate the two stations. So this guy put in, first of all, his IF strip was very low in frequency. It wasn't 455, it was 175 kilohertz. Right there, that makes the radio more selective. Then he added crystal filters, 2 of them. And then that messes up the audio, so he doctored it up over here. And when he did his demo, they said he really couldn't quite explain everything correctly, or he had problems, or the crowd that was watching him didn't like what he was saying, didn't understand what he was saying. But in other words, he built a more selective radio, so you would get more stations. He claimed you would get 100 more stations, okay? And that's because the weak station that's right next to a blowtorch station, you could still pick it up and select it out and enjoy the programming, okay? But when you go more selective, you lose band pass, and when you lose the bandwidth, or band pass bandwidth, your audio starts to get funky sounding. So he tried to doctor that up over here. This is a schematic. If you go look on there, Dr. James Robinson, Stenode Radiostat. Here's the spelling. Okay, go look it up. It's a very interesting story. And then on the conferences, you sort of get Tesla stories, where they make up stuff off the top of their head about what he actually did. You can actually see it on the schematic. I'm a schematic guy. I read it, I looked at the schematic, and then other people in other articles are saying after he put ceramic filters, actually not ceramic, they'd be real crystal, quartz crystal in there, other people started doing it on receivers for other reasons, okay, for communication receivers. Now, if you own like an R71A and you're trying to get your DX in an AM station, what you can do is you go in a lower sideband or upper sideband. You can tune the station in on the sideband, all right? And then you zero beat it, and it'll sound wonky, but you can hear the voice, you can understand what they're saying, and I think it's called ECS tuning, something like that, exalted carrier, whatever. It's got a technical name. But in other words, you'll hear the kind of audio that he was dealing with, and he was trying to get more stations and still doctor the audio up. And it really didn't turn out that good. There are only so many units sold, and it's become sort of a collectible. And right after he was pushing this, somebody else came out with a better radio, just more selective, and it blew him out of the water, okay? But it doesn't stop the people that don't understand what he was doing from doing the thing that they do with Tesla. See, Tesla came up with a high voltage generating system that you could turn it on, and across town you could bring some of the power down. But the problem is it's extremely inefficient. It produced a lot of ozone. If it was raining out, it didn't work. Okay, but people continue to go on and say, we all could have got free power. The government, the government this, the government that. It's all like the free hydrogen you're getting off your car battery or off your generator. You're making hydrogen, and then you're reburning it in the car. The problem is when you put this unit on the car and you draw any kind of current from your alternator, the RPMs of your car readjusts. You're burning gas to make hydrogen, and the ratio isn't 1-to-1, so you're going backwards. But there's people that use circular logic, and they keep telling you that, oh no, you're burning extra hydrogen, but where's the hydrogen coming from? Oh, it comes from the battery. Like it's a miracle that it comes from the alternator system. Well, you don't get something for nothing. And even if it was 1-to-1 energy, which it's not, it still wouldn't be worthwhile because the hydrogen ruins the car if the engine isn't set up for hydrogen. But this stuff goes on the internet, all these different theories, and it drives me nuts because I've done all the reading, and this one sort of has a little bit of cult following. Like I said, once I told you it's Dr. Robinson. I didn't print out all the pages because there's somebody's intellectual properties. Okay, someone's done the work, but I've been following this for a while, and there weren't any websites that Google would find for me. Now I got the whole story. All right, he put 2 crystal filters in there. He calls it a bridge, and that makes it his RF strip to start off with is very selective, and then he makes it more selective. But then the audio is wonky, and there's no way to turn this on and off. So now he fixes it by messing with the audio. And it's not like if you hear someone talking, it's fine. Somebody singing, it's fine. But like the one guy had to pick out, pianos don't sound good. Those guys out there. This guy was trying to give you more stations to listen to. But of course, if someone's playing the piano, a piano is a nasty instrument when it comes to audio. Early cassette players could not do a piano correctly. You would hear whoa and flutter. And voices, that little whoa and flutter, that would sort of enhance the voice like a vibrato. But a piano on an audio system, a person with a good ear, that's not correct. That's not good. Blah, 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 blah. But that's what happened to him. But it's an interesting read. I just wanted to tell you about it because you could be in electronics or in radio for many, many years, and you never heard of this guy. And that's because he was right when radios were going from TRFs to superhets. He was right there, and he was trying to make the radio more selective so you get more stations. And it's in a nice cabinet. Go look at it. I just want to, because I went looking on YouTube and I didn't see any mention of this guy. Okay, and I'm not going to do a really fancy video, and with all fancy editing and all that and great lighting. This is something I bumped into, and I kept going back and looking. And finally, when you go looking using YouTube, not YouTube, Google, what it does is it tracks you. And then you go onto a conference, and they give you a link, and you go with the link. Now, Google's following you, and it knows what you're looking for. And now it links what you've looked at, and now Google has it. So it takes a few months when people put stuff up there on the internet before Google finds it. So I kept looking for this guy and trying to understand, his claims. Go read the claims about the receiver and the whole thing. I said, I want to just see the schematic. Okay, now I'm a schematic guy. Show me the schematic. And like I said, 2 crystal filters. He calls it a bridge, and I think it was Stenode bridge, and it's in a glass tube. Go look at it. He put the crystal filters inside of a glass tube, and it looks like an electron tube, and it plugs in. I think it was $15 or something at the time. Well, anyway, so if you wanted to build the unit itself, and then in this at later dates he was selling plans, or somebody was selling plans to build one of these things. But you'd have to have the tube, and then you'd have to have these transformers here, and then you'd have to know the value of these capacitors. But right in here, this is a filter network before the audio stages. And look at these tubes. These tubes only have like 3 elements in there. I think that's it. All right, that's it.